Throughout modern Indian politics, the relationship with Pakistan has often been a defining thread, woven into the fabric of national security, identity, and electoral discourse. The period under Prime Minister Narendra Modi has seen these themes brought to the fore with a renewed intensity, sparking debate both within India and worldwide. Is the escalation of tensions with Pakistan a calculated political strategy, particularly in the run-up to elections? Or is it a response dictated by external circumstance? To understand this, it is vital to examine the history, political incentives, and scholarly perspectives that shape how such events unfold and how they are perceived. Looking back to the 2019 general elections, a notable series of events cemented the link between national security and electoral momentum. On February 14, 2019, a suicide bomber targeted a convoy in Pulwama, Jammu and Kashmir, resulting in the deaths of 40 Indian paramilitary soldiers. The nation reeled in shock and anger, demanding accountability and justice. Less than 2 weeks later, in a dramatic and unprecedented move, India launched airstrikes across the line of control in Balakot, Pakistan, claiming to target terrorist training camps. The government's message was unmistakable. Under Modi's leadership, India would respond with strength and resolve. The timing of these events, a matter of months before national elections, led many commentators to question the political dynamics at play. The Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP, swiftly pivoted its campaign messaging to highlight national security, leadership, and patriotism, choosing a slogan that underscored the idea of putting nation first. Modi's projected image transformed. From administrator and reformer, he became the defender of the nation, a leader unafraid to take bold, decisive action. Media coverage overwhelmingly focused on the narrative of unity in the face of danger, and the BJP harnessed these developments to galvanize public support. The results were striking. Modi's approval rating soared, as did perceptions of his party's competence on security issues. The BJP not only won re-election, but did so with a larger majority, buoyed by a narrative of strength that resonated deeply with a broad cross-section of the electorate. This apparent cause and effect relationship between an external crisis and domestic political gain crystallized, for many analysts and observers, the suspicion that such confrontations could be politically advantageous, if not actively sought. Political scientists often describe this phenomenon as the rally around the flag effect. In times of perceived external threat or crisis, the public tends to rally behind their leader, sidelining other concerns or criticisms in favor of unity and strength. This is not unique to India. It has been observed around the globe, from the United States to Russia to Israel. However, the Indian context is unique in its historic rivalry with Pakistan, which continues to evoke intense emotion and collective memory. For ruling parties, and especially for leaders seeking re-election, there are real incentives to harness this effect. Escalating or highlighting external threats can shift the focus away from adverse domestic issues such as unemployment, inflation, or economic stagnation. Political messaging can frame the election as a choice between security and uncertainty, between strong leadership and perceived weakness. Moreover, when state-controlled or sympathetic media amplify these themes, the perceived threat becomes a central axis of electoral contention. That said, correlation does not always imply causation. Defenders of Modi's approach argue convincingly that the government's actions were compelled by genuine provocations and the need to safeguard national interests. In their view, any government, irrespective of political context, would have had to respond robustly to an attack like Pulwama, not least to preserve deterrence and reassure the public. Framing these responses as mere electoral theater, they contend, not only diminishes the severity of the security threat, but also underestimates the complexity and gravity of decision-making at the highest levels. The truth, as so often, lies somewhere between the extremes. Most serious analysts concur that while there is no direct, publicly available evidence that Modi or his government has sought to manufacture conflict purely for electoral gain, The political benefits of a tough stance on Pakistan are both well understood and skillfully exploited when circumstances allow. The very real, enduring tension with Pakistan provides a potent backdrop. Political actors are keenly aware of how actions and messaging can shape perceptions at home. Election season brings its own distinctive cues. Watch closely for the timing of escalations, the prominence of military achievements in campaign materials, and the degree to which national security dominates public discourse. Government messaging often emphasizes sacrifice, vigilance, and the leader's personal commitment to defending the nation's borders. Opposition parties may find themselves cornered, their voices drowned out or dismissed as unpatriotic. The media, too, may play a dual role, amplifying the government's narrative, or at times raising questions about transparency and intent. Scholarly research offers additional nuance. Studies suggest that the rally effect is often sharp but short-lived. Support and unity may spike after a crisis, but can fade if the public senses manipulation or overreach. In the age of social media and 24/7 news, controlling the narrative is increasingly difficult, and missteps can quickly erode trust. Furthermore, younger and urban voters, exposed to a wider array of viewpoints, may be less susceptible to the simplified binaries of friend and foe, patriot and traitor. Yet the impact of external conflict on voter perception is undeniable. In environments where national security is a perennial anxiety and where memories of past wars remain vivid, leaders who appear decisive and strong are often rewarded at the ballot box. This is not just a matter of campaign strategy. It speaks to deeper questions of identity, belonging, and the role of the nation-state in the modern world. Ultimately, the issue is not simply whether Modi or the BJP uses conflict with Pakistan for political gain. It is about how political narratives are shaped, how real events become rallying points, and how the interplay of fear, pride, and hope leads voters to make choices at the polls. In India, as elsewhere, the boundaries between strategy and circumstance are often blurred, and no single answer can adequately capture the complexity of democratic politics in the shadow of rivalry and risk. As the country moves forward, each new incident, each election cycle, will revive and reshape these debates. Observers will continue to watch, analyze, and question, and in doing so, they remind us all that the stories nations tell about themselves, especially in times of danger, have lasting power far beyond any single vote, leader, or campaign. In a brief but intense air conflict between India and Pakistan in early 2025, neither side emerged a definitive winner. Both nations showcased advanced aerial capabilities, with India deploying its Rafale and indigenous Tejas jets, while Pakistan responded with its JF-17 Thunder and support from Chinese technology. Despite several skirmishes and limited strikes across the border, international pressure quickly de-escalated the situation. While each side claimed tactical victories, the war underscored the catastrophic potential of escalation in a nuclear-armed region, prompting renewed calls for diplomacy and peace.